Alright, welcome back to Flight Sim 2024 and welcome back to the High Performance Group H160. We are of course parked on the ramp here at East London where we finished in our previous flight, and it's just before 5 AM, or it's probably around 5 AM now, and everything's set up and we are ready to go. So if we jump aboard, if we come down here, we are heading from East London up to Lanceria. That's our flight for today, chartering 5 corporate passengers. And the weather here isn't too bad. There's a bit of rain scattered about. We should be able to depart VFR and then we'll transition into our IFR as we climb up into the clouds. But Lanceria looks like we may have some issues arriving in there. There's pretty low clouds and it's raining as well, so we'll see what that looks like in about 2 hours when we arrive at Lanceria. But that's the plan for today. We are of course flying on FSEconomy, so making a bit of cash. It's only 8 degrees outside, nice and cold in South Africa today. And my plan here is to take runway 11, which faces this way, and then we're going to do the VFR departure, but we're going to be doing it at, well, it's not night, but it's dark. It's really early morning. So we need to head out, runway heading, and then we just cross over the town. So once we pass all of the buildings, we then turn north. We hit the highway and we turn slightly to the right, aim for another highway, and then north up to Nahoon Dam, which is there. So let's see, actually, if I zoom in here, okay, so we're heading out here. Once we pass, I can't actually move the screen, so I need to zoom out a little bit. Once we pass this point here, we're aiming here. Yeah, that's the highway. Then we head up to this point on this highway there. And zoom the wrong way. From that point straight up to Nahoon Dam, right in the center, and that's our visual departure. And from there we'll go IFR. I don't know, the clouds, we should be able to do that VFR, and then we'll go on onto autopilot and all of that as we climb up into the clouds. We're going to be going to, I didn't actually put it in here, we do not cross the Lesotho Highlands or anything like that, so we don't have to go crazy high. So let's just do 8,000. It'll be, we're starting off going west, so we'll start at 8 and then we'll go up to 9. Cool. Let's get out of here. Everything is set up and ready to go. Route is good. Okay, so I think parking brake is off. So I think I said runway 11, it's runway 29, it's the opposite. So that is runway 11 at the end on that side, but we're going to be flying 29 actually. clouds don't seem to be too bad here at the airport, but they get a bit worse a little further on. Nothing happening here this early at East London Airport. So this is 1129, we are turning left. Okay, lights are all done already. Transponder is on. Everything looks good. Let's get out of here. So basically, to start off, we're just keeping this heading. We're just gonna go past the city lights, I guess. Plenty of extra power. I don't want to climb too much because we do need to see what's going on. Although the clouds probably got a fair bit of space. So here's the edge of the city now. So now we turn right. And we need to look for that highway. Okay, so it's there that we're aiming. It's actually this bend here, so we overshot a little bit. It's not the end of the world, I guess. It is visual. Yeah, now we're going to the next highway, so we're going to this point there. So we're aiming for there, and from there we go straight to Nahoon Dam, and then we are on our way. Should be arriving into Lanceria kind of just after the sunrise, although that might not make too much of a difference since what we're expecting it to be overcast and rainy. So this is the highway we're passing over now. I think that's Nahoon Dam right there. So that's it. Okay, so let's come down here and we'll just do flight plan, and our first waypoint is Utsim. Let's just go direct to, let's see if we couple this or we too late. No. Okay, then turn off our landing lights. So I think I said just over 2 hours. We're looking at just under 3 hours, so a little bit longer than I initially expected. See if that time comes down. Do have a bit of a wind. Yeah, let's see if we can get this running. So we go Altaquaya. Going up to 8,000 feet.
Alt A crossing. Alt
like so, and we can engage that. This route hasn't updated for our new GPS route. Not the end of the world. Yeah, looks like we might be heading into the weather shortly. Okay, plenty of fuel on board. We're looking at just under 3 hours flight time. We're going to climb to 8,000 on this initial heading. And then once we reach our first waypoint, we will climb to 9,000 as we'll be heading east from that point. We're still about an hour out from Cowansim though. Okay, 7,500 feet. I think we might have a cloudy view like this for most of the way up. Seems to be this weather system throughout most of southern Africa, or South Africa, I guess. Yeah, there's like this isolated weather system all throughout the eastern half of South Africa. So we might have this for most of the way, but there we are at 8,000 feet. About 130 knots, which is pretty good. We're about 6.5 on our torque, so that's also good. We are pretty heavy today. We fill up on fuel and we've got 5 passengers. So not max, but still fairly heavy, particularly with all that fuel. Okay, 57 minutes to Cowansim. Okay, so I think we can cruise along. and I'll join you again when we prep for our arrival into Lanceria. Okay, so as you can see, we're about 15 minutes out from Lanceria now, and it is most definitely IMC at the moment, and we're expecting this to continue all the way up to the airport. If I just have a look here quickly. So yeah, Lanceria is reporting overcast at 800 feet. So what I think I'm going to do is we can jump in here and we'll load up one of the arrivals. So wind at Lanceria 50 degrees at 6 knots. Why can't I? Oh, this one. So we'll do runway 7 and we will do the RNAV for runway 7. Okay, that means actually, can I take this out? That's better. We just want to go straight. So let's activate that. Right, there we go. QNH update 1028. Let's see here if we go into the flight plan. So this one we should be at 9,000. I'm not too worried about that. We'll stay. Oh, we're at 9,000 now anyway. Cool. Stay at 9,000 and then 776746. Alright, just over an hour's worth of fuel left, so if we do have to divert, we can go to Joburg, we can go to Vonneboom, and we've got Rand as well as an option. Actually, we've got Grand Central too. Joburg is the only one with ILS. But we've got a few places that we can go. Go for decision altitude of 4,860. Okay, 2 minutes out from our first RNAV waypoint, or waypoint for the RNAV approach. Okay, so the overcast is reported at 800 feet. 4860 is 340 feet above the airport, so we should be able to make it in. Okay, so restrictions at this next waypoint, November 2, max flight level of 9, which is what we're at. Max speed 240, which we're well below. Okay, there's our turn. So now we can come down here and go into this. We want to go down to, what was it, 7.7 I think. Yeah, 7.7. Tango 1 we need to be at 7.7, and then Fox 1 6.7. up to 2500 radio. There's our 7,700 feet. Keep it around 100 knots. Looking good. Not a chance. We can just barely see some of the buildings and stuff right below us. But up ahead, there's nothing at all. Okay, next waypoint is Fox 1. And there we need to be 6,700. So passing Tango 1. 5 miles to Fox 1, so let's go in here and go down to 6-7. We are at 100 knots indicated, ground speed of about 100. So we're looking for a descent angle of 3 degrees to descend about 530 feet per minute. There is 6-7. We're on the glide slope, or the vertical path now. And I think that has engaged. It's green. Not descending though. Oh, because we'll only start descending at Fox 1. Okay, cool. So I think we are good. missed approach altitude. 8,000 feet. That's worrying. Okay, we're starting to descend on the vertical path now. Bring the speed back slowly as well. Let's get the gear down. Parking brake is off. Also come down here actually and flip this over today. We can turn these off. Okay, just starting to be able to see the ground in front of us. Gears down 3 greens. Speed's good, around 80. And we're on the vertical path. Okay, 3.5 miles out now. See the ground, but I still can't see the airport or the runway itself. Okay, runway is in sight. We're parking on the apron to the left. It's taxiway Alpha 3. The wind is almost straight down the runway. Let's ditch the autopilot.
Alt A crossing.
Okay, we're a little higher now, so my hardware collective was set higher than what the sim was doing, so that's why we climbed like that when I took over. that's okay. We're going to Alpha 3, which is the first taxiway to the left. It's obviously not this one here, full length. It's the next one. Yeah, actually pretty clear down here. Oh, landing gear went up. That's weird. What caused that? Have just been when I disconnected the autopilot and my hardware kicked in, decided to put the landing gear on. I think those are animals in between the runway and the taxiway on the left there as well, which we've seen a few times at Lanceria in flights in 2024. Right, it's actually fairly clear down here in terms of the weather. Getting in without the RNAV would have been tough, if not impossible. But now that we're here, all looks good. I think this scenery still needs some updates for 2024. As you can see, the floating cars there, and some of the terminals are missing, it looks like. Pretty sure there's terminal buildings over here that we're not seeing. There's definitely terminal buildings in front of us now. That's where the main passenger terminals are for the scheduled SAFAir flights. So yeah, I think this scenery still needs some tweaking for 2024. Okay, welcome to Lanceria. Right, we'll set the parking brake. We'll end our FSEconomy flight. Pack this away. Okay, let's go to idle. And we can switch all of these off. Switch all of these off. That's all fine. And then finally, batteries. Alright, there we go, safely arrived at Lanceria. It is actually a little bit windy. Nothing too crazy though. Check out the scenery. This, I think I think ExecuJet is here. But yeah, this is the main terminal is supposed to be there. This is the gates. So yeah, needs a bit of tweaking. But otherwise, another cool flight in the H160. Once again, still really enjoy this helicopter. And we'll see where FSEconomy has us going next in the next flight in the H160. And that's going to bring us to the end of today's video. As always, if you made it all the way to this point, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you did enjoy it or you want to follow along, you know what to do down below, and hopefully I see you in the next one.